I have to upload everything. I haven't uploaded anything. I'm way behind on doing any of that. I'll try to get that stuff done today. And today we have a new person. And this is your first meeting, isn't it? Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Nitin Bhandari, and I am a graduate student in computer science at University of New Mexico. I'll be graduating in December 2020, and looking for full-time opportunities right now. As far as my open source contribution is concerned, I mean, I haven't contributed to any open source till now, but I'm like well aware of all the different tools and technologies. I mean, not with respect to Ortelius, but like the things like Git, GitHub, pull request, and those kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty much excited to be a part of Ortelius, and happy to have a connection with you all guys.
We're happy to have you too. I can't tell you everybody how excited I was when I met him. I was like, "You're from New Mexico."
Yeah, same here. When I got into your presentation during the, what was it, CDF? No,
yeah,
I guess that conference. I was also very excited. Oh wow, she's from the Albuquerque, Santa Fe area, and it was like exciting. Like pretty much like
I know.
Like people are mostly from either East Coast or West Coast or Midwest. So.
Yes, and it's really odd to find a mutual technologist in the state of New Mexico, to be quite honest. And then the other fun thing that happened this past week was Steve got an award. Show us your award, Steve.
Here's my reward.
Hold it up higher. There we go. He got the top presenter award at DevOps World, which is pretty awesome because his talk centered around this particular issue that we're attempting to solve with Ortelius. So that was pretty exciting that he had a huge amount of people show up. They stayed on for almost the entire time, and his topic was pretty relevant. So on that, I know everybody's got a busy day today, and it's a crazy election day in the state. So Steve, why don't you go ahead and go through what we've done over the last week?
Yep. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay. So in the meeting invite, you'll have the link to the doc, and everybody should be able to update it. Just some highlights from the working groups, the architecture and marketplace. We talked about really focusing on the user experience at first hour, how we can get that easy for everybody to get up and going. We threw out some ideas around how to bootstrap the new users. We did run into problems with we are seeing problems with the bridge between WordPress and SaaS, the SaaS version, and I'm going to work on removing that this week. And it may go into next week to get that coding done. We did talk about our goals. The top ones for Q1 Q2 were the website redesign, and that there was a meeting last week. A bunch of people met with Mark. What's Mark's last name?
Mark Waite.
Oh, that's right. From Jenkins.
Yes, and I think that the overall summary of that is that there are a couple of tools. We need to come up with I think Parajat, you were going to work on maybe a design for the front end. So we have an idea of what we need to include in it. And there are different tools that could be used, but I think everybody agreed that Markdown was probably what we wanted to stick with, even though there's something called ASCII docs, which I've never seen before, I've never used. There were pros and cons on both, but even the Jenkins folks said there more people are interested in using Markdown than ASCII docs. So whatever, a Hugo server may be what we want to stick with so we can build it in. And Owen thought that Markdown, we could create headers and footers around the markdown, and it would suffice. Siddharth and Parajat, you guys were there. Was there any other takeaways from that Steve and Nitin should hear?
So most of the technical stuff I couldn't really understand, but I also felt that having like a UI prototype or wireframing would help. I have some like it's quite basic, although I'm learning right now, experience with tools like Figma. I'll be learning Sketch as well, so I can help out with the mockups and obviously the technical stuff we have.
We have plenty of people can do that. So doing the markup would be huge.
We're going to turn you into a programmer one of these days.
You'll start doing Markdown language in no time.
Okay, so I'll follow up with everybody on that. I wasn't able to make that meeting, so I'll circle back around with everybody what we need to do.
So the takeaway for today is, should we create a working group for the website? And my thought is yes.
It wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's go ahead and throw a calendar request out there, because
Okay.
since it seemed to be a pretty big group.
Yeah. And the cool thing with, you know, the way they have Jenkins, the Jenkins website does a lot more than just documentation and a place for information. The back end of the Jenkins website has Jenkins all built out into it, so that it also kicks off if you do any check-in to the to GitHub. It also goes through and, you know, sets everything up and runs it through a workflow.
And we could get to that part, because we have there's a lot of options now. And that's some of the things in what we've been doing on the development side is we're actually using GitHub Actions as well as Google Cloud Build. So we're mixing in CI, CD tools, sprinkling them around here and there to do some automation. We haven't decided on one over the other yet, but we're just trying to get a feel for what's happening. So we can do automation on that, and it may end up being, because we're using GitHub, that the GitHub Actions may be the easiest to do that that kind of workflow process for the website.
So the role of Jenkins over here is to build up the pipeline for continuous delivery and continuous deployment flow, right?
Yeah, so the way they have Jenkins wired into the Jenkins website repo. So when you do a pull request, that a bunch of automated stuff happens. And this is the same thing like with the CDF landscape. I don't know if you've ever seen that, or the CNCF landscape. Anytime there's a pull request and the pull request gets approved after all the reviewers, then it goes off and does all this stuff in the background, and actually for like the CDF landscape, it generates the landscape dynamically through some of the markdown files. So that's what's happening with a lot of these hooks that we have into GitHub. Is once we do something, once we do a PR, and we go through a series of steps, then we're good to go all the way automated from there. So that's kind of like the process is, everything is focused around the pull request. We just added in security scanning to our microservice containers that we've been working on. And we did find some security vulnerabilities that we had to rework on that level. And that's being triggered by a GitHub action. Mark, you put those in for us, one of the other developers.
So yeah. just a question I wanted, because like I'm not aware of CI/CD so much. So you were talking also about like incorporating GitHub Actions, and during the conference I heard like people, I mean, along with Jenkins, many people use like Travis CI, Circle CI, and those stuff also, right? Mm-hmm. So any particular reason why we are using Jenkins over here?
Well, Jenkins is one of the projects in the CDF. and we like to, so there's Jenkins, Jenkins X, Tecton, and Screwdriver are the 4 CDF projects. So we like to support those tools as well as part of the process. But that doesn't mean, right now it's, we're all over the place as part of what we have for a CD tool.
Right, because
right
there's other things like Google, what is it called, Cloud Build?
Cloud Build. And like I said, GitHub Actions is the Microsoft world of that. So it's just there's no rhyme or reason right now.
But certainly supporting one of the projects is going to be our best. If we're invited into the CD Foundation, what we really need to do is make sure that not only are we consuming the CD Foundation dog food, as they say, we also need to make sure we're integrating with all those tools. So we have integration points with Spinnaker and Screwdriver and Jenkins X and Tecton.
And then other ones that go beyond that are going to be things like Argo, CD on that side. That's in the CNCF. And there's a couple others that are floating around out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Some of the other goals that we had come up with are around the, let me tab this in, around easy onboarding, data visualization. We're going to end up with a lot of data that we need to visualize. And then our goals for the end of next year are going to be rolling out a marketplace. And then there's a part of Ortelius that does all the interface between the database and deployment. And that's right now written in C, and we need to change that over to another language. And it may be C or Golang as one of those. So that's kind of what happened on the marketplace side of things. The outreach committee. Sorry, this is all, oh, that's bad. So on the outreach and marketing side, again, it was the user experience that we need to focus on. Hacktoberfest is over. Thanks for everybody that participated. I think we got everybody that participated their poll requests.
You know how many of us actually achieved it? 5 or 6?
That'd be my guess. I know you, me, Sasha, Aisha, and I think maybe 1 or 2 more.
Josh or Chris?
That's what I'm not sure about on who else had it, because there was a couple other people that had some pull requests early on that they were able to do some stuff. So thank you for everybody doing that. It was a fun little thing. Everybody trying to get mad scramble to get code done.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep that up for the next year. That pace to get everything else done. And then also in the outreach and marketing, we came up with our top 5 kind of goals, or what were you calling these, Tracy? Like,
big rocks. Big rocks.
I don't know what that means, but
it's a big rock you got to carry around, got to get it finished. It's a term that the at my People Powered book uses for goals.
Oh, okay.
And I did set them up, and I put them on the front page of our GitHub repository. It was all everything that we all talked about as a group is what I ended up adding.
Okay, cool. Google's being a pain today. I have no idea why this is a different color than everything else. But anyways, and Parajat, I need to get with you this week to get our issues sorted out and start breaking out the 5-minute videos and how to for the cheat sheet.
Yeah, sure, Steve. Finally, I got a new laptop. Sorry, I haven't been able to do much. I didn't have a proper laptop for the past few weeks, but now I can.
Okay, so I'll get with you on Discord to figure out a time. I think that was most of it. I think this is left over from the previous month. So that was mainly what I wanted to just go through at a high level. Anybody else have any updates? If I missed anything?
I think sorry, go ahead, please.
Nope.
So I was asking, Tracy, I mean, you guys have done a presentation to CDF. So what is the next steps? What is the process after the presentation done?
So Tracy, what was happening with the CDF? Was Dan Lorick going to go and
Yes, so they
vote on it?
They have a meeting every 2 weeks. They were supposed to have an internal meeting this week, and then Dan was going to put the vote out, and we should hear by Tuesday, is what my understanding is.
By today?
Tuesday of next week. So
Okay.
I think today is they're going to have an internal meeting, and then he'll put the vote out, and they have a week to vote on it.
But from what you've heard from like Tracy Miranda and...
I only have heard good things. I haven't heard any major issues that they would have. In fact, the Jenkins team wants to start doing cross-post with us and wants to find out more how they can integrate. The thing about Jenkins is you have to remember is that it doesn't do deployments, and other tools in the market in that space does. Well, Spinnaker does, for example. So Jenkins has a lot of motivation to find out ways that they can evolve the standard Jenkins pipeline to support microservices in a more sophisticated way. So I think that will be a really good other project to collaborate with. And there's a lot of Jenkins out there, so we would be solving problems for a lot of people. So I've only heard good things.
Oh, and if anybody is interested in the CDF interoperability working group is working on a proposal around what to track at when you do a release of or deployment of software. So they're breaking out a new proposal to figure out what we need to keep track of when a deployment happens. And I showed them what we had from the Ortelius side. And also, I don't know if anybody's familiar with, there's a project in the Linux Foundation called SPDX. And that is a whole thing around standards for packaging software. And it's a pretty comprehensive spec that you follow, and I think we can integrate that up into a deployment or a release methodology, which Ortelius can, we can expand Ortelius to grab that information.
And there's a lot of very interesting people on that working group. If you have any interest at all in working in that space, there's a lot of very, very interesting people working for really big companies on that. You know, there's the two Jameses from CloudBees, there's somebody from Red Hat. So it's an interesting group.
One of the release people from eBay.
That's right.
And then the thing is, when you start working with, especially for you, Nitin, when you start getting involved with these folks and you start, talking to, one of the senior architects at eBay, that when you go to apply for eBay, you could say, oh yeah, I've been working with this person on this open source project, and gives you a leg up. So we can help you, we can help introduce you to people.
And in fact, a lot of the open source projects, like Red Hat, they hire directly from their open source community.
Yeah, so
you may count me in, Steve, for this.
what was it? You broke up. You want to be involved in that?
Yeah, let me see.
Okay. I will get you the link to the proposal. I don't know if they've started it. They just created they do a weird, it's HackMD. It's this like weird website. Come on.
I'll send it out. We'll put it, Nitin, have you joined the Discord channel?
I don't think so, not yet, probably.
Go to the chat. Let's make sure you're in the Google Docs. Go to the chat window and click on that link that I put in there, and make sure that you can edit that.
Yeah, see if you can add your name up to the top here.
Okay.
No, yeah, looks like.
Done.
Oh, perfect. So you have access. So I'll send you the, I'll be able to grab your email from the Google group, and I'll send you the link to the Discord.
Sure, that would be awesome.
Unless it's in one of the old meeting minutes. I don't see it. Oh, here it is. So if you go down to the bottom.
Like page, what's the page number? It's like number 5.
Yeah, I'll just throw
6.
it in I'll throw it in chat for you.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
I was thinking, and I just dropped an email also. I think the next thing that we should do is reach out into different organizations, and not with the proposal of the Ortelius, but the power of microservices, and how you have taken it to the next level. I can talk within my NatWest group for this. Similarly, I think we should reach out to other organizations as well. Not to get them the buy-in, but at least showcase what we are up to. Maybe we get more SMEs, experts who would like to contribute to it.
Yeah, and that's one of our goals that we put in was around teaching people what microservices are, and how to keep, what's not only to what's needed to code them, but once you have them, how do you keep track of them as part of that process.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's definitely a great next step, is to start reaching out. Do you think we need should we brainstorm on some topics around microservices, focusing on maybe some high level topics we should do, like development of them, deployment of them, configuration management around them, or should we get into something a little more detailed at that level, or just keep it high level to start with? What do you think would work better?
My opinion is, let's keep it on a high level. Let's not get into the nitty-gritties. Let's at least speak to the people who actually know the language of microservices, who know microservices, or who are part of other microservices community within the organization, outside the organization, and take them this idea of what we are trying to aim for.
Okay.
For example, in NatWest group, we have a microservices community, and there is a community of practice, the COP. And since I, part of the DevOps Center of Excellence practice of NatWest group, So we have a couple of conversations with them, and we do interact with them. So maybe I can use my influence in getting Steve, you or Tracy for, let's say, 30-35 minutes of a slot into the microservices community catch up someday. Maybe let's aim for by the end of this year, or maybe in first quarter.
Okay, that works. That'd be great. Yeah, because we have a bunch of presentations that we do all the time. Tracy, when's your next one that you have coming up? We have what, DevOps Canada?
Well, I just did that. The next one I have is I got a presentation I'm doing in Brazil tomorrow, and then I have one in New. I'm at Experience IT Net, and if you want tickets to that, I can get you a ticket. It's all virtual, and then I think that's it for a while.
Don't we have KubeCon coming up?
I'm not presenting at KubeCon, but we can. We have a booth. We can do all kinds of presentations there.
Okay. Because KubeCon is what, November?
Yeah, November. Yeah.
And that's going to be a big show. Even though we don't have any talks in that one, it's very hard to get a talk at KubeCon.
Yeah, I submitted a complaint about it. I was like, why? Why didn't I get picked?
So.
Especially when they don't have that many women talking. It's like, come on, guys.
All right. I think that's it. Thank you, everybody. And Parajat, I'll reach out to you and we'll figure out a time.
And I'll send a doodle out to for a working group to see what would be a good day for that. I think that one we might have to work on, do a weekly meeting, unlike the others.
I think for these goals here, these are going to have to move into weekly type of meetings.
Yeah.
That's like we're going to run out of time if we don't have that. Even if they're just quick. I know like the Tecton CD hub and catalog, they're basically gotten to the point where it's pretty much wrapped up. So their weekly meetings are just getting canceled a couple hours beforehand because there's no agenda for them. So that's what I think we should just start making weekly meetings for some of this stuff, and then we'll, as we get things rolled out, we can scale it back.
Yep, I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Everybody stay warm.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
We're gonna have a bad COVID.